So I'm going to read a number of poems. Two of the poems involve trees, so this is a dedication to a tree. So pay attention. There won't be a test, but okay. So I'm going to start with four short poems from this thing called the 401 series, and I originally wrote this as a long poem, a kind of a crack against the 401, the highway we've all driven on and suffered through. And if you might not know, it's actually the busiest highway in North America, something we should be all proud of. Or not, depending. Okay, so this is one. Filling the psychotic sky with its drone, machinery speeds ceaselessly down the endless circuit of highway. The horror never sleeps, never rests. All peripheral understanding cut off by the driver's blind need to projectile into their futures, to move into the stream and spin the generator of Hive's hum song. 4. Like the harrowing towers of Manhattan that dwarf spectators into insignificance, this hub of millionoid mass transit makes me entirely beside the point. Am I appendix, an anachronistic organ of this organism, nervously awaiting the inevitability of appendectomy? 14. To my right, a concrete mixer, huge, squat as a mobile bunker, jigs up and down on lubricated shocks like a machine obscenity. Oh, I'm disgusted, but my lawless eyes are drawn back again and again to that jiggling, wiggling transom. 17. Is this it, buddy? Is this your life? This parade of shit boxes roaring past? A stampede of glittering metal logos on the candy-coated hoods of cars, more emblem than human being, long ago consumed by commercial fakery, seduced by the siren call of Barracuda, Sunfire, Comet. Okay, so this next poem is part of a modal series entitled Underbrush. And it's about a very large stick insect. Very large. It's extremely large. I was quite shocked when I saw pictures of it, actually. For people that might not know, the technical word for a stick insect is phasmid, and that will show up. So, this little glossary. Tree lobster, and this is the popular name for this insect. Tree lobster. Dryoxocellus australis. Down to your very last 2 dozen, you sought the shade of a melaleuca, one that hung on the edge of the world, carried from Eden to the sea stack of Baal's pyramid in an unsuspecting beak, sticky, walked away from the bird's nest. Its second miracle of parthenogenesis, where males become only optional, did the rest of the work of regeneration. For 9 decades, the sterile basalt jut of a volcanic caldera proved an unlikely ark for this huge and flightless phasmid. Its homeworld was infested with black rats, escaped from the hole of the Macambo when it ran aground on Ned's beach. Before the song of rainbird and fantail were gone, how islanders missed you. They liked to bait hooks with your bodies. Now 20,000 amphora-shaped eggs await in the catacombs of the Melbourne Zoo for the poisoning of your enemies. And they are breeding them. They are. Okay, this is from another series called The Hunger Seed, and they're erotic poems. They're not very sexy, though. They're really not. As you all understand. Okay, this is one entitled Crush. When she held me tight and crushed her chubby paps against my breast, I could hardly breathe, much less speak. Her lips pearled with Manitoba maven, she brought to mine with a wet smack. With a mawkish grin, she whispered of a later that night voulez-vous at the cabin beside the Short Hall Rapids. Susie had come over with her girl pals, those wisecracking and slavering punkettes who had pired away all my whiskey and gin and fled out into the summer night while she held me down with her lip lock. Based on a true story. Names have been changed. Okay, this is from Artifice, and this is a sequence about art objects, artists, artistic process, what have you. And actually, last summer I was in Avignon at the Palais de Pape, and they like to put on sort of avant-garde, contemporary art installations alongside, the old musty paintings and things that are actually inside the Palais de Pape. So this is just an observation of what happened there. So this is entitled The Tree of Life, Palais de Pape, Avignon. In the courtyard, workmen sweat in the heat as they raise the creator's erection, the Tree of Life. It's halfway up and they're running out of time. The bearded graying artist, self-styled embodiment of the new Wild, gesticulates and barks commands. Across the grass, workmen's tools are littered among the naked torsos of stainless steel women. The ladies wait to be bolted to the branches of the metal tree, each figure anticipating the rough touch of the workers' hands when they come to rip off their coats of cellophane. Inside, in bare, cool rooms of musty stone, are the painter's ecstatic expression of all he thinks crude, primitive, and primal. A woman with a boy snorts with a half laugh as she spies the enormity of a dancer's phallus. Behind them, the anti-popes stare blithely. They take it all in. They've seen it all before. Okay, this is from another series. It's called Excavation, and it's a bunch of poems about late Pleistocene extinction. So these are extinctions that, geologically speaking, are quite recent. They're 15 to 10,000 years ago, and a lot of these poems have to do with the sort of the coevolution and extinction of particular animal species. And this is about the avocado. The avocado as an evolutionary anachronism. Ahuacuatl in ancient Aztec tongues signifying testicle, the uncanny twin of our organs of bodily generation, those blackened, wizened cojones that grow distorted and monstrous in florid nature's swampy mere. This rugged, knobby stone of earth, who could imagine what plush butter resides within your hardened rind? When split, the tear-shaped microcosmos reveals its massy core ringed with halos of oily flesh, the hue of ripe lemon that, like the coming of a new dawn, shades towards a penumbra of pale lime. In the lingering dark of January, we pierce the knot of your seed with wooden spits and install you on the sill in a water-filled mason. Your hard pit would crack open, and the feathery tendrils of red root would sprout and crawl the smooth, sterile sides of translucid glass. Cousin of cinnamon, camphor, and bay, your ovoid fruit still ripens as love song for departed elephantine Gomphothere, who once raised the 4 points of tusk and saxophoned out their lamentations over the swampy coves of Veracruz. Reduced to manhandling and cultivation, to our inept fosterage, and faced with an ever-receding horizon of reduction, and yet each vital fruit grown still exalts your carnal twin, extinct sower of seed. So enjoy your next avocado. It's a lot of biological history that went into the creation of that. Okay, I'm going to end with a couple of poems, and I'll be frank with them. They're a little brutal, so not to end on a hard note, but I'm going to end on a hard note. Okay, so this is from a series called The North. And this series has to do with a lot of things that go on in northern communities. And I think, 95% of our population lives in this very small band along the American border. And most Canadians, they claim a connection to the north, but they often don't know what the hell is actually going on up there. So, the cull. Charlie B. pointed a bony figure towards the fly-blown carcasses that float in the muddy ditch. The hunt for feral dogs had begun. All curs, flea bags, and loose hounds would be destroyed as dangerous. A pack of strays had pulled down a girl as she crossed the church lot and ripped her part by bloody part. We watched as the Linklater boys wheeled up and down the main drag in their jacked-up Chevy Suburban. They had chained to their truck bed a bitchin' heat and plugged any mutt that caught the whiff of her spice. At the town dump, bears work over the smoking mound of burnt carcasses. Shaggy, with a scar across her lip, pulls the whites of intestines from blackened husky flesh with the long flash of her canine. At the base of the funeral pyre, a cream-faced mongrel curses me with its vacant devil doll eyes, and at the thick ring of an all-season radio slung around the fur of its neck. The snowbed. We'd found Lola, swampy-eyed girl, lodged deep in a bank of drifted snow, curled up as if asleep in her own room. Frozen kisses dappled her cheeks, her purpled lips, her closed eyelids. In a whiskey-tired flight from bonfire and tomfoolery, Lola found a bed, and now the crows hop all around. So, on that sad note, thank you. Thank you so much.